In a little town nestled between green hills, there was a garden that everyone seemed to forget, except for an old woman named Mara. She tended the garden every day, rain or shine, her hands brushing over leaves as if greeting old friends. Long ago, Mara's husband had planted the first seeds here. He loved roses, she loved herbs and tiny wildflowers that danced freely with the wind. When he passed away, Mara promised herself she would keep his garden alive, and so she did. One late afternoon, heavy clouds gathered above the hills. Mara looked up from her pruning and smiled. She loved the rain, its soft hush, its gentle touch on the roof, the way it made the world smell like earth and memory. She poured tea into her favorite cracked mug and sat by the garden gate, watching the first drops fall. Around her, flowers lifted their faces to the sky. The old wooden wind chime on her porch swayed and sang a low, comforting tune. A small boy from the neighborhood, Theo, peeked through the gate. He often watched Mara from afar but had never dared to step inside. Today, curiosity pulled him closer. "Do you want to come in?" Mara called gently, her voice blending with the patter of rain. Theo nodded and tiptoed through the gate. His eyes widened at the sight of flowers in every color: purple asters, yellow marigolds, climbing roses, and tiny blue forget-me-nots that peeped from hidden corners. Mara poured him a cup of warm tea in an old tin cup. They sat together on a small bench under a wide oak tree, sheltered from the rain. "Why do you stay here when it rains?" Theo asked, his voice small but curious. Mara smiled. "Because when it rains, the garden tells its secrets. If you listen, you'll hear them too." Theo closed his eyes. The rain fell soft and steady on the leaves, a quiet drumming that made his heart slow down. Somewhere a blackbird sang, and the wind carried the scent of wet earth and rosemary. For a moment, time didn't seem to move at all. Just the garden, the rain, and two people who didn't mind sitting still. When the rain slowed and the clouds drifted apart, Mara handed Theo a tiny pot with a young plant inside. "Take this home. Plant it. Someday you'll have your own garden that whispers to you when it rains." Theo held the pot close, as if it were a secret treasure. He looked at Mara and grinned, a shy, grateful smile that made her heart bloom like her roses. As he ran back down the lane, the garden shimmered under the last drops of rain, alive with the promise of new stories waiting to be told, softly, slowly, whenever the rain returned.